Morning everyone. Today I am going to teach you your second chapter of economics, that is the sector of Indian economy. Okay, in this chapter we will see about the different sectors of Indian economy and their contribution in our GDP. Okay, so there are three major sectors of Indian economy, that is the primary sector, the secondary sector and the tertiary sector. Okay, so first of all we will see the primary sector. Okay, so the primary sector is that sector in which we produce a good by extraction or the collection of the natural resources. Okay, means primary sector or the primary activities are those activities in which human beings they uses their natural environment to produce the things. Means human beings they are using their natural environment or the natural resources for the extraction of different things. Okay, farming, mining, fishing, forestry are some examples of primary sectors or the activities that comes in primary sector. Okay, now the next is secondary sector. Okay, the secondary sector covers activities in which the natural products are changed into other forms through the ways of manufacturing. Means in the function of secondary sector is to manufacture the product. That is why secondary sector is also called manufacturing sector. Please remember this. This sector is also called the manufacturing sector. In short, we can say that secondary sector or secondary activities are those activities in which we manufacture the products that comes from the primary sector. As I just told you a while that in primary activities human beings they uses their natural environment or the natural resources to manufacture the things. So in the secondary sector we manufactures all those things which comes from the primary sector and convert them into the usable form. Okay, the third sector is the tertiary sector. This sector includes activities that help in the development of primary and the secondary sector. Students, actually the tertiary sector does not produce anything, but this sector having a very great importance in the development of both primary and the secondary sector. These activities by themselves do not produce a good, but they are an aid, means help or the support for the production process. This sector is also called service sector. So tertiary sector is also called the service sector. Okay, means all those people, all those institutions who are providing you service, they all came into the category of tertiary or service sector. Teachers, doctors, shopkeepers, private schools, banks, they all came into the category of service sector. Okay, so I hope you all are able to understand the meanings of all the three sectors. Now we will see further. Here one thing you have to note that all the three sectors are interdependent on each other. In the absence of any one of the other two sectors are useless. Means all the three sectors of our economy are totally interdependent on each other. Means in the absence of one sector, the other two sectors are useless. They were not able to perform well or they were not able to contribute in our economy. I will give you an example of this. So imagine if the farmers they were not willing to sell their sugarcane to the sugar mill. Okay, so in this context the mills will be not able to operate, and sugar industries are those industries, means sugar industry came into the category of agricultural based industries. Okay, so if the farmers they will not sell their sugarcane to the industry, it will not able to work. This example shows that secondary sector totally depends on primary sector for the manufacture for the manufacturing of things. Okay, and if the farmers they are ready to sell their sugarcane to the mills, or if the cotton mills in India they were not purchasing the cotton from the Indian farmers, and they decides that they will import the cotton from the other countries. So what will happen? In this example we can say that the primary sector is also depends on the secondary sector. Okay, and if both these sectors are working properly, okay, and the tertiary sector means there is a strike in transport, which as you know that transport it is comes under the category of tertiary sector. So if both the two sectors, that is primary and the secondary sector, they are functioning well, but if there is a strike in transport, so the manufactured good it will be remain in the industries only, and it will be totally a waste. So in this context we can say that all the three sectors are totally interdependent on each other. Okay, I hope you understood the example. Now we will make a comparison between the three different sectors of our economy, and we will see which sector contribute more in GDP. Okay, students, we always took the value of final goods and the services produced in each sector during a particular year. Here you should know that what is final good. Students, final goods are those goods which are ready to use. Okay, and the goods which are used in the production of final goods, those goods are called intermediate goods. Okay, means intermediate goods are those goods which are used in the production of final goods, and final goods are those goods which are ready to use. Okay, so in any economy or in any GDP we always took the value of final goods and services, okay, in a particular year. So the sum of the production in the three sectors gives us GDP. You all know this, you have already read in class 9th. GDP is the sum total of all the goods and services produced in a country in a specific year or in a specific period of time. Okay, so it shows how big the economy in India is. Okay, and the task of the measuring GDP is undertaken by the central government. Now here I have given you a graph. It will help you to understand the contribution of each sector in our GDP. Okay, here I have given you the digits in lakh crores. Okay, in crores. Okay, and it starts with 5 lakh crore. Okay, and I have mentioned here two different years, that is the first one is 1973-74 and the next one is 2013-14. Okay, the blue one it represents the primary sector, the red one is secondary, and the green one is tertiary. Okay, so you can see the contribution of three sectors in the year of 1973. So in this graph we can see that the contribution of the primary sector is a little bit more than the other two sectors. Means the first, in the year of 1973-74, the primary sector stood at first position. Okay, means it is the major contributor in our GDP, the blue one, which represents the primary sector. Okay, the red one, that is the secondary sector, it having a very less contribution in our economy in the year of 1973, and the third one that represent the tertiary sector, it is also at low stage. Okay, and it having very less contribution. But 40 years later, if we see the graph and the contribution of our three sectors in our economy, so we can totally find a different picture. here we can see that the sector that having less contribution in the year of 1973-74, this sector having it become a major contributor in our economy. Okay, I will explain you what were the reasons for this, but first you just try to understand this graph. Okay, now the second one is the secondary sector, so you can compare this with the first one. Okay, in the year 1973 it is the lowest position, means the secondary or the manufacturing sector is at the lowest position in terms of its contribution in the economy, but here it is number 2 position, it having the number 2 position. Okay, and the primary sector, who is the major contributor in the economy in the year 1973-74, it is at the lowest stage. Okay, we will see the reason responsible for this. So at present there is an increasing demand and base of tertiary sector. Okay, in that graph we have just seen that in the year 2013-14 the tertiary sector emerged as the largest producing sector in India, replacing the primary sector. Okay, and the tertiary sector has become an important sector in India because of the following reasons. Students, the same graph they have given you in your NCERT book, so please see that graph also. Okay, now we will see the reasons for the increasing importance of the tertiary sector in India. Okay, the first reason is the service sector has the services such as hospitals, educational institutions, health, banking considered as the basic services, and government has the responsibility to provide all these services to the people. So in this context, as more and more people are employed to provide the basic services to the people, it will increase the share and the base of tertiary sector, because all the people who will be associated with all these institutions, they will provide services, and I have already told you that all those people who are providing any type of services, they came into the category of service sector or the tertiary sector. Okay, so means the increasement in the basic services to the people results in the increasing share of tertiary sector in our GDP. Okay, now the second point is the development of agriculture and industry leads to the development of the services such as transport, trade and communication. Okay, means with the expansion of agriculture and the industry, I have told you earlier that all the three sectors are interdependent on each other. The growth of one sector will also lead to the growth of another one. So expansion of agriculture and the development of both agriculture and industry, that is the secondary sector, leads to the development of transport, trade and communication, and all these three are came into the category of service sector, that is tertiary sector. Okay, so the expansion of the other two sectors will lead the expansion of tertiary sector or the service sector. Okay, or it will also increase its share in our GDP. Now the third point is, with the rise in income, when the income of the people increases, they started to demand more services like eating out, the tourism, shopping, private schools or some other things. Means with the increase in the income level of the people in a country, they started to demand for more services like eating out, tourism, shopping, the malls, okay, and the private schools. The fourth reason for the increasing importance of the tertiary sector in Indian economy is that over the past decade, certain new services based on IT and communication, means information and communication have became more important and essential. Okay, as both these are also came into the category of service sector. So all these things increases the base of the tertiary sector in India, and it ultimately increase its contribution in our GDP. Okay, students, means the role or the importance of tertiary sector, this topic is quite easy. Okay, means this is very important topic in context of this chapter. So if you having NCERT books, please see this topic in your NCERT book also. I hope here you all are able to understand all these points. Now on the basis of employment, we will see the two important topics, that is organized and unorganized sectors. Okay, संगठित और असंगठित क्षेत्रक. Okay, so first of all we will see that what is an organized sector. Okay, students, all those institutions which came under the government and they work according to certain rules and the procedures, all those institutions or the things, they came under the category of organized sector. Okay, so organized sector covers those enterprises or the places of work where the term of employment are regular. Okay, and therefore people have assured work. This sector comes under the government. These are some essential or the key points of this sector, that is people they having the assured work. This sector comes under the government and have follow certain rules and the regulations. Okay, for example, Factory Act, Minimum Wages Act, these all laws were followed in this sector. This sector is called organized because it follows some procedures. Banks, hospitals, schools, means all the government institutions, they came into the category of organized sector. Okay, all those people who are working in organized sector, they having so many benefits, as they having the medical facilities, they having the pensions. If they do overtime, they having more income, means if they do overtime, they get more increasing income. Okay, they having the fixed working hours, they have paid leaves. So all such facilities are provided in the organized sector. Okay, we will see next one, that is unorganized sector. Student, this sector is just opposite to the organized sector, means here you have to see the difference between the organized and unorganized. Okay, organized sector I have explained just a while. Now we will see unorganized. So an unorganized sector is a sector in which is not registered by the government. Here in organized sector we have seen that this sector comes under the government as it is registered by government, but the unorganized sector is not registered by the government. So this sector having its own rules and regulations. Okay, this sector is characterized by small and the scattered units which are largely outside the control of government. Means in unorganized sector, most of the production activities are done by the individuals. Okay, and they are not work under any government rule or the procedure. So this sector is not governed by any act, or so there is no such law followed in unorganized sector. Okay, as we have seen in the organized sector that this sector works under certain laws or the rules, that is the Factories Act, Minimum Wages Act, but there is no such provision in the unorganized sector. As this sector there is no such law. Okay, so this sector includes a large number of people who employed on their own doing small jobs. So unorganized sector is just opposite to the organized sector. So the people who are engaged in the unorganized sector, they don't have the regular income, they don't have the paid leaves, they don't have any medical facilities, they don't have the pension facilities, and they have very less income as compared to the people who work in an organized sector. Okay, so I hope you all are able to understand the difference between the organized and unorganized sector.